And I say unto the artist, Courage! There is a time for our defeats, a time for our victories, on condition that there be a time to look, a time to listen, a time to love, a time to suffer, a time to endure, a time to forgive, a time to learn, a time to understand, a time to absorb, a time to digest, a time to reflect, a time to mature, a time to bloom, a time to expand, a time to create, a time to reproduce, a time to sow, and then will come the time to reap. What is an artist's life? A time when you are dependent on others, a time when others are dependent on you, a time when the populace despises you, a time when you despise the populace, a time when the artist knocks in vain at the gates of art, a time when art shelters the artist, a time when money insults the artist, a time when the artist insults money, a time when the work of an artist is obtainable for a few cents, a time when untold millions could not purchase that same work, a time when, through the fault of the nation, artists perish, a time when, through the lack of artists, the nation perishes, a time when your native town makes your reputation, a time when you make the reputation of your town, a time when, being envied by too many, you suffer, a time when, being envied by too few, you suffer, a time when you are a unit, a time when you are multiple, a time when you will specialize, a time when you will universalize, a time when you will be the prisoner of your formula, a time when you will escape from your formula. There is a time when your reputation makes your talent, a time when your talent makes your reputation, a time when your renown is greater than your genius, a time when your genius is greater than your renown, a time when your efforts are so low that the crowd can reach them, a time when your efforts are so high that they surpass the crowd. There is a time when nothing counts except what you do, a time when what you do counts for nothing. There is a time when you fancy you are weary of effort, a time which calls out to you still greater efforts in your effort. There is a time when it seems you have nothing more to say, a time which cries out to you, Fool, does life ever stop? There is a time which disgusts you with the present, a time which cries out to you, and what of the past? There is a time which says to you, Ah, we know of what has gone by, a time which cries out to you, What of the future? There is a time for meditation, the fear of time, in face of the formidable task to be accomplished, a time which cries out to you, Lose not your time in looking at the clock. Work.